this is Yoga Quickies, the show where you tell us what you want out of your yoga or fitness routine, and we deliver to you in 5 minutes or less. I'm here with my friend Amber Jean, the Yoga Queen from Yoga in Cincinnati, Ohio. Why, oh, why, oh, why, oh, did I ever leave Ohio? That's a good one, right? Amber, thank you so much for joining me. I'm so excited to do our first out-of-state Yoga Quickie, and you're amazing. She's amazing, the owner of Yoga in Cincinnati. Tell us about your start with Yoga in Cincinnati.
Oh, Lori, I'm just so happy you're here. Yoga really began with the vision of having a studio where we could offer rocket classes on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And the more that you practice the rocket, even the more accessible it becomes.
And the rocket, for those of you who don't know, was started by a guy called Larry Schultz back in, what was it, 2000?
The rocket was actually created in the 90s while he was on the road with the Grateful Dead.
And the person who named it was Bob Weir, of all people, from the Grateful Dead.
Yes.
I mean, I love that. When I was a reporter back in the day, my first news story was covering Jerry Garcia's death. Isn't that insane? Yeah. So why was it called the rocket, though? I love the story behind this real quick.
It's called the rocket because Larry goes, well, why should we call it the rocket? And Bobby goes, because it gets you there faster.
Yeah.
And that's
the story, Lori. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Okay, so Ashtanga is a style of yoga, or school of yoga, that can be intimidating. I know for me, about 30 years ago when I started, it was intimidating then, it still is intimidating. There are a lot of postures in just the primary series alone, there's a bunch of series, that are extremely, it's very vigorous and challenging, and I still can't do a lot of the postures. So what Larry did, and what Amber's doing with Yoga is breaking it down to make these postures accessible. So Yoga Quickies is making it accessible to you in 5 minutes. And we're actually going to do a transition series for the splits for our hips. So we're gonna put 5 minutes on the clock, and she's gonna teach us the sequence and transitions. Are you ready to go?
Yes, this is gonna show you how you can get there faster, incorporating...
Without drugs.
The rocket sequence.
I love it.
And in traditional Ashtanga, when you're practicing prasaritas, that's what we're going to warm up with. So let's step open our feet. And
we're going to be mirroring you. So it's our right leg, but it'll be your left leg, guys.
Okay. And have a nice wide distance between your feet. Bring your heels to the back edge of your mat and inhale your arms up. Exhale your hands down, and this is where we would practice our first rocket transition into headstand or handstand. And so you can just kind of play with maybe putting weight in your hands or jumping or coming onto your toes.
I'm already intimidated. Okay, so you can do just the lift of the heels, or you can do the tripod headstand?
Yes.
Okay. Here we go. Oh my God.
And this really opens your hips up when you're in this inversion, and then go ahead and bring them down.
Nice and slow. Oh
yes.
This is what happens when you're driving in a car for hours. Thanks for the spot, sister.
Okay, so let's all inhale and look up. Exhale, reach your hands behind you, hold your elbows, pull your shoulders back, and exhale, drop your head.
Oh, so nice. Now, would you say the weight is on like all 4 corners of the feet, or would you bring it back for a little more of a hamstring stretch?
I would actually push into the ball of the foot right behind the big toe and keep your ankles lifted.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. She said it better.
Let's inhale and roll up. Reach your arms up, loosen your shoulders, clasp your hands behind your back. Inhale, look up. Exhale, roll again forward, lifting your arms. So this is warming us up for the rocket splits.
Oh, I feel it.
We're gonna look up, inhale, and now grab your big toes. And as you're warming up, if you want to widen your feet a little bit, maybe bend your knees.
Oh, that's good.
Feel a new stretch. Good. And now let's look up and position your hands right underneath your face. Start to walk your feet out wider. And Lori, I always tell everybody, you want to be able to do this tomorrow.
Yeah, I think so. So not too wide, guys, is I think what she's saying. And you know, you want to make sure you're staggered from your friend, although I have the best view in the house. And then you haven't tried any of that Cincinnati chili before you come into this.
Yeah, that's true.
Although I'm sure they have a vegetarian version of the famous Cincinnati chili.
They do. It's a beans and rice.
Oh, sweet. Okay. All right, go ahead.
So you can come down to your forearms if you are comfortable in this position. And take a nice deep breath into your core. And we're going to inhale, and time to move again. Straighten your arms, walk over to your right leg. Bring your back knee down and kind of shift your hip back to the runner stretch. Beautiful.
So good.
So this is a great warm-up for deeper splits.
Good. And we were talking before about how this is a great stretch for runners and taking it in your time, your pace. So you were saying about like, you know, taking this pose at the beginning of the week and at the end of the week,
Going a little bit deeper, right?
Yeah. So I can't do the wide splits like Amber, just because I'm so tight. But off to the side does feel really good, and it doesn't feel like you're wussing out. It feels like you're going a little bit further, but maybe not all the way. And I like that you do use props, but this is sort of easing out of the props.
Yes.
It's cool.
Yes.
Some people rely on them a little too much. Okay.
So let's come up, inhale, and walk to the other side. And really what we're doing is we just want to get our body functioning. We want to get it moving. So drop down into the runner stretch.
As long as you're breathing, you're still doing yoga, right?
Absolutely.
Sometimes I find myself holding breath in postures, and this is where you're like, okay, yogic breathing, the deeper the breath, the deeper the stretch.
Now, a similarity between traditional Ashtanga and Rocket, and go ahead and come deeper, is that we practice Ujjayi breath. We engage our core and use the bandhas.
Yeah. Which we have other stories. Actually, the bandhas just aired the other week with my friend Whitney, but you know, so you can look down below and see the order of our yoga quickies, and if any of these words make no sense to you, you can just click on that episode. So it's good. Ujjayi breath, we got one on that. But the rocket's awesome. Thanks, timer. We got one more pose that we want to do, and this is for, so this was for the basics, right? The transition. But now you're going to show us that little playful move that works.
So we're going to come into center. We're going to keep opening all angles in the hips. Let's take one breath and lean forward. Inhale up. Reach over to the right side, side stretch.
This is just bonus points.
And then switch to the other side, side stretch. And inhale up. And so we call it the Mula Bandha checkup. Our hands are between our hips. And we're going to push and lift. Ooh.
All the way into firefly.
Yes.
Not really.
All the way into handstand.
Holy yeah. Can you do that?
Maybe tomorrow.
That'll be our next quickie.
Right,
Oh
next
my gosh.
episode.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a really tough one.
It really works your core.
It's amazing.
For your hips.
Okay. Amber, thank you so much for sharing your time with me. The rocket is a fascinating sequence, and if you are working on getting a stronger yoga practice, you should definitely check out. All of our information is below. Information on the rocket sequence, and you've got some great videos online, so I'll be checking out some of those too and doing them at home, and hopefully be able to do that Mula Bandha right into handstand. So thank you so much.
Yes.
And thanks guys for tuning into
Thanks
Yoga
for having
Quickies.
me.
For Amber and Lady, thanks and namaste. We'll see you next Thursday.